Education is the process of increasing value. That's what it is. At the core of it, it's the process of increasing value. The more educated you are, that's what I said, we don't think school. This is much bigger than school. But in general, the more educated you are, the more
freedom of choice you have.
Yeah, the more choices you have and the more value you bring. I am always trying to find a way to become more of an asset. That's what educating oneself is. It is the process of increasing value. So there's different ways that one can acquire education. One is through experience. So once you write that down, certainly, you can receive, you know, they say that life is a cruel teacher. You can receive education through your experience.
Directly, you can learn it from your experience, or indirectly learn it from someone else's experience.
That's perfect. That's exactly right. I can learn from someone else. This is why I love books. I'm gonna tell you, this is one of the reasons why I love books. I can learn in one book what it took somebody else 20 years to figure out. One book, I can do that. Because through the book, I found out how they started the company, how they may have went bankrupt, how somebody betrayed them, how they dealt with it, because I can learn from their experience. So I don't have to go to, when people always talk about experience, I don't have to go through everything. As a matter of fact, that's what they say. They say a smart person learns from his experience. A wise person
Learns from someone else.
somebody else's. When we talk about indirect experience, indirect can lend itself to a lot of things, teaching, instruction, mentorship, but I want to just put out all these so we're clear on the different ways. So some do overlap into others, but instruction, method of education. So when we think of instruction, we generally think of people who are teachers or someone who has taught us. That is a way of, and now the teaching, remember, does not have to be a formal teaching. Doesn't have to be I mean, what we're doing now is a formal teaching. I'm standing up and teaching you, but we're taught by people that are our peers, siblings, people older than us,
Everyday life.
all types of ways. Yes. So we have instruction, mentorship. I think mentorship is highly important because it's important to find people that can give you a blueprint.
Mentorship.
Can give you a blueprint. It's important that you find people that can give you a blueprint for where you're trying to go. And I say this with respect, but sometimes what happens is we listen to people who haven't gone where we're trying to go. And so they're giving us advice based on something that they don't know about. If I want to get to the Bronx on the train, if you never took the train, I probably don't want to listen to you. You might be a smart person, you might be a great person, you might be a wonderful person to hang around. But if you don't know the A line, the B line, the D line, and the 1, 2, 3, why would I listen? And this is what happens. Sometimes we find ourselves listening to people who we like rather than people who've been there. Because to give me to be a mentor and to get me there, you had to have been there. You have to have the blueprint. And I say this with respect, but sometimes we listen to mama about something, but mama don't have a blueprint. You asking mama for something she can't give. You're asking an uncle for something that while they love you, they haven't been there. And so what mentorship is about, show me the blueprint. Was it Jay-Z that wrote the book called Blueprint? I think it's powerful because we have a blueprint, you have a pattern that you can go after. I think one of the reasons why I have been successful in a lot of the things that I've attempted to achieve is not so much because of me, but because I've always been able to get around people like the blueprint. An aircraft can't, you can't land a plane from the ground. You gotta land it from the control tower. Because there's some things that they can see up there that you can't see on the ground.
Yep.
And that's what mentorship is. It's people that have, okay, I can, because I've been there, I can see some things that you can't see right at your level. When I was at college, I remember, I knew that I wasn't doing law school. And I had said in my mind, you know, I would like to work hard. And I mentioned that. And I remember it was a guy that was sitting next to my history class who said, that he and I were pretty much nothing alike. He was a cool guy. He said, you know, you remind me of my brother. You remind me of my brother. I had never told him about art. I just said law school. I didn't, certain dreams I don't mention to people because you say it.
Yeah, they'll shoot it down, try to shoot it down.
Yeah. So he said to me, you remind me of my brother. And I'm thinking, what do I have possibly in common with his brother? You know, this guy, he was, you know, real popular, pretty boy, all these other things. What do I have? Well, he said, I'm going to introduce you to my brother. He said, I'm going to tell you about him. He's real smart. He doesn't really, it was kind of a backhanded compliment. He's not popular, but he's smart. You know, but you remind me of him. And he said, and you know, he said, you might think this is weird, but he graduated from Harvard Law School last year. I said, introduce me to him. No, really. So what I did was, I began to, with him, give me the steps to how you did it. Because again, now my mother loves me, my mother cares for me, my mother supports me, but my mother cannot give me that wisdom on how to get somewhere where she hasn't been. My father could not do that. Somebody in my family couldn't. So what he was doing was telling me, and he told me some things I didn't want to hear. No, you got to take this test again. It was a test I took and I didn't do well. He's like, no, you got to do this. You got to go here. So he was showing me the he said, now I want you to visit the school and I want you to talk to this person and talk to this person. So I'm getting. So it wasn't so much that I was so smart. I was around somebody who was telling me, don't do this, do this.
Help you navigate.
Through peers. That's what you were talking about. The people that are around you. Now y'all remember that video I showed you? You saw it. The cat. The people with bottles. I won't do the demonstration here. They're bottles and they're pouring into the little cat. And really, with peers, sometimes, look, I think when you know, there's levels to
Everything.
exactly.
It is.
And to intimacy, we think of intimacy as, when it's often taught as a sexual thing, but I think it's beyond that. I think it is it's a deeper level of relationship. Now we might be
Loyalty as a friend.
yeah, so we can look, we can hang out, but that doesn't mean you're in my inner circle. Because I need, and this is what I heard, and this is what I heard you say, when you're the smartest person in the room, you need to get in another room. See, some people have this ego where they need to be needed. And that's very, you gotta be very careful about that. They need to be, oh, I'm the person everybody comes to. How many times have you heard people say this? Women are notorious for this. I'm the one everybody comes to when they're in crisis. Okay, I'm gonna tell you the problem with that.
A lot of the program.
Where do you go?
I'm happy.
So let's say you're that person, but where does that person go? You have to have somebody that you can run to.
It's like a therapist has to see a therapist.
Yeah, you gotta have somebody that can pour.
Right.
If all you're doing is pouring,
Right.
but you don't have people that can pour back into you.
Right, absolutely.
Like they say, if you stay in a barbershop long enough, eventually
You'll get the haircut.
You get ahead.
And what happens is, we sometimes are looking for something in an environment that it can't give. And that's one of my things why I tell people, I've heard people say college is not for everybody, and it's not. I don't say that condescendingly because it's not. But
It's what?
college, I don't think it's for everyone.
Yes.
But I think education is for everyone. And the thing that I love about college is that you're at least around people who want to better themselves. Yeah, we had a saying in Morehouse, party hard, study late, don't forget to graduate. Because, yeah, you're going to party, and there was a lot of things going on that probably shouldn't be going on. But at the end of the day, we didn't forget, we're here all the way down here in Atlanta and not where we're from because we're here to go to school. And you want to be around people. You can't party 24/7.
No, you can't.
All right, so you party Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But Friday, can we go to some classes? Can we? And so what happens is we're in an environment where and if you're not careful, and this goes.
It's a higher thinking though.
But this is high thinking. This goes to me one of the biggest issues with incarceration facilities. So even when you work to have the right peers and the instruction and the mentorship, you'd be surprised how much. Remember this: a palm tree won't grow in Alaska, and it's not because there's anything wrong with the seed. It's because there's something wrong with the environment. And that is what happens sometimes. We're in environments that are constricting. I mean, they're sucking the life out of you. You're in environments where it's just negativity. And though you might be a positive person, and you might be a kind person, you're around all this, and you find yourself fighting it. And this was so much you can do. Yeah, I do think, and that's why when people say, well, if you're strong, nothing matters. I don't think that that's true. Something's going to matter. You can still push past it. But if you're in it, it's tough. You gotta work to get out of. There's some environments you cannot control.
You can't say you're a product.
Yes, you can.
But I think we all are a product. If we're honest, we're all a product.
Some people use that for excuse.
I'm
not saying you can
You can't let that dictate who you become.
But this is the thing about the environment. Some part of the environment we can control, some we can't.
Right.
So you may not be able to control the neighborhood you live in at this moment. But you can control the people you surround yourself with.
Right.
So okay, so I might live in the Bronx. I live in the Bronx now. I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna go to my house and come back. And I got a couple people that I hang with, you know, that I might see them, but I'm not going to expose myself constantly to the chit chat. Just on the way up to my apartment the other day, the lady was at the front step was like, the heat is crazy. And she wanted to get into this long diatribe about, did you call 311? Sweetheart, no, I didn't call 311. I didn't. Why? Because it's not going to make a difference. And I told her, I said, just get a heater. That's what I did. She said, but didn't your bill go up? Yeah, but it's worth it. She wanted to go through this complaint. I said, I can't do that. Because I can control this.
Absolutely.
I cannot control the Bronx.
Right.
I cannot control the neighborhood. But I can control that part of my environment and how I'm going to allow, no, we ain't going to do this. I cannot allow, because what's that going to solve? Now we spent 10 minutes on the front complaining about heat. Keeping in mind there's people out here that's homeless. So even if the heat is acting up in my building, I got somewhere to sleep. So it ain't as bad as it could be. But the part of my environment that I can control, the people that are around me, and that's very important. I think the way to really increase in value is to be very intentional about these sources. As intentional as you can be. And intentional just means that you are very cognizant and conscious of what's happening. So rather than just being in the environment, you wonder, what is my environment? How am I creating this? Yeah, like who am I choosing to talk to on the phone or deal with? Who am I being instructed by? How am I, what am I listening to and why? Exactly. That's following. Exactly. That's coming in, that if you're not careful, and this will shift how you think and how you move in the world. Certainly. Because the way that we see the world is partly, in many ways, a combination of these things. See, the problem with thinking about school as education only, or only school as education, is that when school is over, what happens with education? It stops. Many people, I've heard them say, oh, I'm done with school. So, and when people say that, many times, even though they might be done with school, many times they mean is they're done with learning. I've learned already. So now you're 18, you learn everything you know. Or you're done with college, no.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Rather than being intentional about, okay, I need to get around. Sometimes I find, and this goes to environment, I just want to go to a seminar just to hear it. Pulling up, now we have such an advantage that even 20 years ago they didn't have. That's the internet. You don't have it used to be you had to go somewhere to a speech, or if you miss it on television, it was over. I can look up now Warren Buffett. What does Warren Buffett say about success? What does Mark Zuckerberg say about making money? What does Oprah Winfrey say about breaking into your own company? And I can watch video after, and that's what I've been trying to do with you all by showing these videos.
Motivation.
I do these same things. I'll be at home sometimes and I'm like, how do I do this? Even if it's as mundane as this, doesn't have to be deep and spooky. Like the other day I was trying to cook a steak a different way. Go to YouTube. How do you cook a steak on the broiler? I mean, it's learning. And there's so many ways now to learn through that, but a lot of times we aren't intentional. To me, the problem isn't the medium. The problem isn't television. Because people say, well, television is bad, the internet is bad. No, it's how we're using it. So if I can get on, I don't even need, right now, and I even said I can't afford it. Not money-wise, but I can't afford it time-wise. Cable. It's just right now in my life, the way my life is set up, and it's not moneyless, I can't afford time-wise for cable. There's too many things I've missed in these years. Where I'm like, if I'm gonna turn on my phone, I need to get something on YouTube. Yeah, it's not all the time I'm watching, you know, uplifting things, but I'm watching things I feel like it's helping me. Over the weekend, this weekend, I was watching Making the Band, because I'm interested, how did Diddy do this? I'm just interested, how did he get these people to come and they got these battles going on and he's making money off this group and that group, and I'm watching, oh, so he's promoting this. I'm watching him Making the Band, this is years ago, but he's like, buy Danny Kane's album and buy Day 26's album, I got Donnie Clink coming, so I'm sitting there watching, self-promotion. But most of us, we spend that time on social media or other stuff that ain't even making us any money or we getting any instruction from.
Ain't learning nothing from it.
Yeah, some of us, I really believe, if we use the phone and just for an hour a day used it to increase our value, we'd be powerful. Just an hour a day. It doesn't have to be a long time. It's an hour a day. If you're going to go on Twitter, follow somebody that's saying something. Education is a tool, not a ticket. You need to know this. I don't care what certificate you get, what degree you get, what instruction you get, that is not a ticket to anywhere. It's a tool. Because you can have it and still not get the job.
Right.
Especially when you don't utilize it.
And that's how, you say what?
Especially when you don't utilize it.
That's the
and
thing.
put it to good use.
It's a tool.
It's a tool.
And if people thought of it like a tool, I've heard people say, yeah, I don't believe in college, but I had my cousin went to college and she can't find a job. Well, because maybe, and I'm not saying maybe she's doing all the right things and she's just going through a period of hardship, but maybe it's that your cousin made the mistake that a lot of people made. They thought they were going to go to college and come out and the doors were just going, oh, no. It's a tool, not a ticket. It's not the entryway to success necessarily. It's a tool that can get you perhaps in the door.
And then it could be what time you in. You might be no jobs in there. You going back home thinking you're going to get a job. There's no jobs here. You got to go somewhere else.
That goes to palm trees not growing in the lots.